Imina punya kammena mami bala sama satang samagamu yavanipana sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, dear children and teachers, today here is going to be delivered a Dhamma speech as well as a Dhamma discussion. Rather than a Dhamma sermon or speech, I'd like to make this as a discussion with you. I think it would be more helpful for you to understand the things better. I think here we have our children in grades. So in which grades are you now? 6, 7, 8, 9, also 10? Are there any children in grade 10? No. Okay. There is a few. Okay. So let's begin with this thing. Today we are here. We are going also to celebrate Poson Pinkama, Poson Poe ceremony. Is there any meaning to the name Poson? Okay, to say there is a meaning. What is that? I don't ask about the Poson ceremony, I ask about the term Poson. No, there's no special meaning in the term Poson, okay? Because Poson is a term in Sinhalese language. In Pali language, in the language of Buddhism, there is another term for this. However, the term Poson has no special meaning, but it means, or we can say it has a meaning like the day that Buddhism came to Sri Lanka. You all know that what had happened in such a day, in a Poson full moon day. Who brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka? Arhat Mahinda. Let's say Arhat Mahinda. So in Sinhalese language we call Mindu Hamuduru, Mindu Maharahatan Vahanse. In English we call him Arhat Mahinda. Or Arhat Mahinda Thero, you can also say. Thero is a name, is a term for high priest. Thero. So usually, what do we do in this time period, in Poson period? Dancel, we make dancel, and what else? So dancel has come the first place, Yeah, we make toran. Mihin talaw. Who make mihin talaw at home? Or at your temple, at your dham pasala, maybe? Good. Okay. So we do different kinds of things in Poson Day to celebrate Poson Poe, to commemorate Poson Poe. Okay, good. Usually we call in Buddhism, these all things belong to Amisa Puja. Amisa Puja means the things that we do with our organs, like with our body, using our body, with the help of our body we make decorations and the other things. So these things are also important because the other people, all the people can see them, can hear them, can feel them, and they can develop the faith in Buddha. In Buddhism there is no faith, but we usually call it Saddha, Shraddha in Sinhala. Saddha doesn't mean faith, because faith has also a blind side. When someone says something, we say, okay, I have faith on him or her, therefore I believe it. So in Buddhism there is also no belief. There is nothing to believe in Buddhism. So it's a philosophical thing. It may be too deep for you to understand in this moment. But we have to try to understand the depth in Buddhism. There is a deep side in Buddhism. For example, sometimes the other religious teachers may have said, okay, come and believe what I say, or what the God said. So the disciples, the listeners may need to believe what the religious teacher says. In Buddhism there is nothing like this. Buddha has said, you can even come and investigate about my qualities. You don't need just to believe from someone saying, okay, Buddha has such and such qualities. Buddha was a great spiritual leader, he had divine powers, he had a power to understand everything in the world, he could see even the invisible things, he could hear even the invisible things, he could fly in the sky, he could do the miracles. So don't believe from other sayings. Someone can say like this, Buddha says, okay, I may have these kinds of powers, but you may come. You may come and see within, with your eyes and with your mind, you can understand what the qualities I have. It is like this. And even the saying of the Buddha, the teaching of the Buddha, he didn't just say, okay, come and believe me, come and believe my saying, my teaching. I bring you something from the heaven. I bring you the divine message. This kind of thing he has never said. He has said, I am a human, so I have understood the reality in this world. I can preach this, I can bring this to you, but it is up to you to, with your own understanding, with your own wisdom, with your own mind, thinking power, it is up to you to investigate it, and to see it, to realize it. So Nibbana, the goal in Buddhism, Nirvana, it is not a thing like a place in the heaven. It is something to realize. We say Nibbana, Nirvana, to realize the Nirvana. So attaining Nibbana is not something that happens after the death. It is something that we can realize in this world, in our lives. So it is something like this. So in Buddhism, many teachings are very practical. We can see the result of the act. For example, Buddha has said, okay, if you steal something from others, you may have to suffer with fear that the other people can come and they can beat you, they can bring you to the prison, and like this. So the person that steals wealth from others have always fear. So this is something that we can see with our eyes. That this is something that we can feel, we can realize. So we call it, in Buddhism we call it karma. You may know this term karma. So karma is not something that brings us results in the next world, but the results begin in this world. For example, if someone within you tells lies to a teacher, for example, so after telling a lie, you can't feel well. You always feel uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable because you have done something wrong. You know it. Your heart knows it. Therefore, you feel always very uncomfortable. So it is the result of the karma that we get in this within this life, in this moment itself. So therefore, Buddhism is something very practical that we can practice in our lives. It is not something that brings result in the life after the death. So what about the activities that we do in Poson period? I said these kinds of things belong to these kinds of things belong to Amisa Puja. That means the offerings that we can do with our organs. So with our body, with our word, with our mind, we can do many things, as they will be the offerings to Lord Buddha, or a respect to Lord Buddha. Especially in this time, it is to Arhat Mahinda Thera, who brought this great teaching to us, to Sri Lanka. So we do certain kinds of things as a respect to him. We make Mihin Talawa, we make Dansel, and we let so many people come and eat, drink, be happy with our givings. And we also organize other kinds of charity activities. So especially this time was not a good time for Sri Lanka. Last week we had flood problems in many districts. So many people suffered with flood. So many people had to be away from their houses. So I think your school has also organized flood aids activity. I heard about that also. So you have many children might have brought so many things as donations to these people. So these were not people only who had nothing to live. There were also people who had so much wealth, who were rich, but they also had to suffer with this natural disaster similarly. So this is how the nature treats us, and we also need to find out why the nature does such things to us. So someone can say there is nothing behind this, there is no fault of humans, of the people, this is just a natural thing. On the other hand, we can also find in the name of development, so many things had taken place in Sri Lanka. We know everywhere there are concrete jungles. There is no place to the trees, the forest. So we can see in this area there are so many trees. So you are really fortunate to study in an environment like this, because there are some trees left behind you, but in future, in next 5 years, maybe many of these trees could be cut out. So we need to think what the development is. So some of you or many of you might have been abroad, and you might have seen what they do in other countries, in the developed countries, what they do in the name of development. What is the real development? You might have seen these things, how they organize the things, how they make the cities, how they make the houses. So we can't feel like just we have been to a town, to a city. So I speak not about the countries like Malaysia or China. I speak about the countries like the countries in Europe or maybe in other continents, maybe in Australia. So when they organize something, when they need to develop their city, they have a plan. For example, I can say something to you. There is a temple that belongs to late Venerable Somahamduru. You all know his name, Gangadil Somahamduru. In Melbourne, there is a 5-acre land, a big land. So there in the temple, Somahamduru wanted to build a building for the monks to live, to stay there. So they wanted to get the plan passed. They went to the city office and they have shown the plan, and the city office has said, okay, we can give you the permission to build the building, to make the building, but you need to make it a bit higher than the plan. For example, from ground level, they have planned, if they have planned 1 foot high, it might be built in 1.5 foot high, the building, okay, when they make it. The reason that they said was there was no flood effect to this level during last 100 years. So they have measured the past 100 years. So how the plans are passed in Sri Lanka? So if you go and give some money to the officer, then you can get your plan passed. No matter whether it's in a muddy place, it's in the jungle, or it's in other area, you can make the building and you can get the plan passed. So it is corruption in Sri Lanka. So in some day, we may need to change all these things. So you may think, okay, the monk has come and he doesn't preach bana. He preaches something else to us. No, this also belongs to Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha, because Buddha has said, when there is no nature, there is no life. This is very true. So when there are no trees, there is no oxygen for us to inhale. When there is no oxygen, there is no life. Therefore, we have to do everything and anything and everything. We have to do with a plan, carefully. We have to think not about today, but about tomorrow, in the future. What happens in the future when we cut down all the trees, when we make the buildings and streets and the ways and all the other things. We can't live here because the living beings live with the nature. There must be water, there must be oxygen, there must be many other things in order to make someone live. Otherwise we can't live. So many diseases have increased. You may see there are so many cancer patients now in this world. There are so many people with other diseases that can't be cured. For example, HIV, AIDS. This cannot also be cured. So the people must have finished their lives in a short period. So how these things have taken place? In the past, there might have been such kinds of diseases, but were not popular because so many people have not affected with these diseases. But now what happens? 1 out of 8 people are cancer patients. So how had this happened? You can if you go to the Cancer Institute in Maharagama, Apeksha Hospital, if you check the reports, you can see how how the number has increased. Year by year it increases. So what is the reason for all these things? It is nothing but what we do in our lives. For example, we don't know what we eat now. Now the latest issue is this artificial rice thing. You might have heard about this. So some people say there is nothing like this. It is also natural rice. But the other people argue, no, I have such experiences. I have cooked the rice and I have left it for 3-4 days, but it was same as he or she has cooked today. Even after 3-4 days, it didn't come to decay, and it is in the same condition. So if it is a natural thing, it can't be like this. So there are arguments still going on, but there are so many things like this. Last time there came a big debate about fertilizers that we put in the paddy fields. So after some time, the people also don't know what has happened to this thing, if the fertilizer is prohibited, banned or not. And there was also a problem regarding popular milk powder that we consume in our day-to-day life, a very popular milk powder. After some time, some doctors come up and say, oh, there is no harm from this milk powder, anyone can consume it. And then the people begin again to consume this milk powder or this any kind of food. So this is what happens in our country all the time. Sometimes the people or a doctor or a physician or someone says, okay, this is harmful for the health, for the body. And sometime later, the people who import these things to Sri Lanka, they share money to some doctors, also to some organizations, non-government organizations, and they make a media announcement and they say there is nothing harmful in this thing. So people begin to believe these sayings of the people, of the other people, and then they consume the things in the same way, and people get diseases and they need to die earlier. So we also have to think about these things, what we do in Sri Lanka in the name of development. Do we have a real development, or what do we have? So this is the main part of the teaching of the Buddha in Buddhism, because Buddha has said there are 4 requisites that help the people to live. First thing is clothes, second thing is food, third thing is residence, fourth is medicine. What are the 4 requisites? Clothes, food, residence, medicine. Okay? So if you have any kind of problem with these 4 requisites, the style of living will be changed. For example, medicine. So about medicine also there are many debates in Sri Lanka, so I am not going to speak about this thing. Do we get the good medicines when we need? This is the problem that we have. Do we have quality medicines to consume? So in future as good children, you have to face all these problems, and you have to find solutions for all these problems. Sometimes we may get cheap medicine, cheap tablets, but they don't have the real quality that a medicine should have. It may be expensive than the medicine that we import from America or Europe, but it may have the good quality that we need, and it may have reduced side effects. So in some way, when you grow up, you may have to think about these issues. However, medicine takes a big place in our lives, according to Buddhism. So we have to think about the medicines that we consume. Are these good medicines or not? We may have to think about these things. And the food. So now I am speaking about speaking from the side of the teachings of the Buddha, not something that only about the day-to-day life. So the food that we consume, is it a quality food? So can we live without diseases or with reduced diseases with this food that we consume? Do we know how the people have grown the vegetables that we consume? Have they what kind of fertilizers they have used? Are these bad for the health, or are these neutral? Do we know this? Have we ever had an effort to find about these things? No. So in some other developed countries, there is a search about organic food, organic products. So they grow the organic products without the artificial fertilizers. So they get the good quality products. So in Sri Lanka also I have seen that there are some places that they sell organic products, but we may need to find out how they are grown. This is the important thing. And the drinks that we consume, some, for example, tonic products, soda products. So I don't like to say the names or brand names of the products because it is not faithful, it is not good. So there are some drinks that the young people are fond of drinking. So you may need to check how healthy these drinks are. Because I have seen a latest photo, I don't know whether it is real or not. The reason the photo was real. It was a monkey in Thailand, I think, in a zoo in Thailand. The people have given them so many chips, cola, and other baked products. So the monkeys are like some uncles in Sri Lanka with a big stomach, big belly. So the monkey doesn't look like a monkey, so it can't move very well. It sits and it eats the things that the people give. So they also drink cola, the monkeys. So they also have been like the people with the big belly. So the other monkeys are not like this because they only consume the organic fruits in the jungle. So it has something for us to think about. What happens to our figure? What happens to our body? The shape of the body. So many people like to make the body in a shape, especially the girls. So they may have to think. Even the boys, you also need to think. If you are chubby, if you are so fat, no one likes you, isn't it? Yeah. So, and you can compare. No, this is not a joke. You can compare This may not be Buddhism, but this is something in our life. Huh? you may have to compare this thing with the young women in other countries and the young women in Sri Lanka. The young women in Sri Lanka have maybe they may be fat, they may have a big belly, but the other young women in other countries, they have a shape, they have a good figure, they have a shape in their figure. So this is not a joke, this is something also about our health. If you are healthy, you are not unnatural, you doesn't seem unnatural, you seem very beautiful, you seem healthy. This is how it is. Therefore the food that we consume is very important in order to make us healthy. Therefore think about the things that you eat. For example, especially what you buy from outside. Because when your parents cook food for you, or when the cook is made at your home, you know that it is to a certain extent it is healthy. But if you buy a ready-made product from outside, you don't know what is inside. For example, if you buy a fish bun, if you buy a sausage, if you buy an egg bun, or some other thing, you don't know with what they have produced this thing. So in future, these problems will be many and many, because with the development of the technology, so many people make artificial products, just like this artificial rice, artificial noodles, artificial eggs. So there will be many problems for us in future. Therefore, we always have the keen to search something. What the ingredients contained in this product? How many calories are there in this product? Is it approved by health ministry or any health organization like this? I was in Anuradhapura yesterday, so I bought a bottled drinking water from a shop, from a little shop. And I came to the railway station, I wanted to drink some water. The seal from outside was very good. It was sealed with this plastic foil, and I opened it. And when I tried to release the seal in the lid with plastic, I felt that it was already open. The seal was already broken. And then I wanted to smell the water. It was smelly, and the taste was just tap water. So they have used the bottle, and then they have filled it up and have made a plastic seal from outside. So this is how they sell the product. So of whom can we trust? In whom can we trust? What can we trust? All the things that we take from our mouth, we need to check how these things are. So this is how it is. Many vendors, they sell expired things. Sometimes they try to delete the expiry date. This is how it is. So we have to be wise, we have to be smart to understand the things that the other people do in our society. This is how it is. Okay, the other things, I think the residences and the clothes, these things. So as children you get all these things, and we don't need to discuss about these things. So time also has passed. I don't know what the time now. What the time now? 9:45. Yeah. So I have to wind up within 5 minutes, I think. So this is how it is. Therefore, we have always to be careful about the things that the other people do. For example, when we drive a car, can you drive a car just like you drive in America or Europe? No. You have to have not 2 eyes but 4 or 6 eyes, because so many people come and try to make troubles. You can't just obey the rules and you can't just drive. So all the systems have to be changed. But how and when will this happen? It is a big question. So many ministers go abroad, they see all the system, how the system runs in other countries, in the developed countries. For example, this problem in health and the other issues, flood issue and all the things. Garbage problem, it was a very big problem last time. So many people had to die also because of garbage that the people throw out. Still there is no proper solution for these things. So the life is something that we need to roll very carefully. Therefore, even there, when there is no country for us to live, when there is no culture for us to practice, there is no place to a religion. What the religion can do when the people can't live happily? People will think about the religion, philosophy, meditation, all the things only if they have enough food to eat, only if they are healthy, only if they have facilities to live. When they don't have these main requisites, main facilities, they can't think about a religion, a philosophy, literature. These things are just a joke, because main thing is to live happily. So in order to live happily, there must be good religious teachings that guide the people. So that is why I wanted to make you understand about, or make you think about some of these issues that we face in our country or in our society. So when we can live happily, we can practice Buddhism, we can practice Christianity, Islam or any other religion. Main thing is we must have a good environment to live. Therefore, let's try to make a good environment that we can live together. Let's save the trees, let's plant the trees, and let's consume the organic products as much as we can do, and let's take the good medicine. Let's think in the proper way. Let's try to change the system that the society runs. If these small amount of children think in the right way, in future you will be administrators, you will be top doctors, you will be the higher people in this society, and you can guide the people in the proper way. So you can start from today, you can begin from today, you can begin the way to think properly, in the right way. Because of my life, there cannot be any harm to any other living being. This is the principle. This must be the principle in your lives. So when there is no harm from me to the society will be peaceful. Then everyone begins to live happily. All the things will be changed. When the way of thinking is changed, the style of thinking will be also changed, and the environment also will support us to live in this country or wherever we live happily. So this is what we have. This is the best message that I can convey to you in this Poson period. Mihiduhandru has brought us a good way of thinking, good way of practice. So we need to understand this good way of practice that the Mihiduhandru brought to us, and we may need to practice these things. Okay, thank you for listening. May we all attain Nibbana with the help of the merits that we achieved by listening to this Dhamma sermon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nityam buddhapachayino cattaro dhamma vadanti Ayuvanno sukham balang ayuvarogya sampatti sattva sampatti nivaca ato nibbana sampatti minate.